Welcome, cadets. We are going to learn more about prepositions of time and place. As you can see, we are going to learn about the prepositions in, on, and at. Okay? We are going to check, first of all, for the time option. In here, we are going to check the green words here because all of them can be used with the preposition in, which means it's something bigger, it's more general, like for example centuries or decades or years. For example, I was born in 2003, for example. I graduated from Escuela Politécnica in 1999, for example. That's general. So that's why we are going to prefer to use in. In which other cases are we going to use in? For centuries, decades, months, weeks, seasons, periods of time, holidays, parts of the day. Afterward, we are going to check that we are going to use on for more specific information. Like in this case, holidays with day, like Easter Day, for example, days, like for example, the days of the week. We are going to say to use the preposition on Monday, on Tuesday, on Saturday, with dates, okay? Okay, we are going to have a quiz on April the 4th, for example, okay? So, in what other cases are we going to use on? With days, dates, specific dates, time, day or part of the day, like Sunday morning, for example. I studied on Sunday morning, okay? Now, we are going to check at, the preposition at. The preposition at is very specific. So we are going to use, when we are referring to hours, parts of the day, time, very specific moments, okay? And holidays without day, like Easter, for example, okay? So I usually wake up at 8 a.m., for example. That's very specific. That's why I am using at. Now is the turn to use the prepositions with the place option. In this case, in, which you remember it means general information. So when we refer to countries, cities, neighborhood, and closed space, we are going to prefer to use in. For example, I was born in Guatemala, for example, okay? On, it goes with more specific information, not too general, not too specific, just more specific. Like for example, the streets, avenues, surfaces, means of transportation, communications. And in those cases, you are going to use on. For example, I live on the 7th Avenue, for example. Okay. And finally, if we are very specific, like giving a specific address, we are going to use at. For example, I live at 13th Avenue 11-12 Zone 2, for example. That's an address. We are going to use at when we refer to use addresses or specific locations. Prepositions of time, as we can see here, if we are very specific, like in this case, we are going to use at, okay, at Christmas, at 10 o'clock, at the end of the month, at the weekend. If we are specific, but not too specific, we prefer to use on, like in this case, okay? So we are going to use on time, on Monday, on the 25th of December, on Christmas Day. In, you have to use in when you are meaning very general information. Like for example, here in summer, in 2015, in the morning, in the evening, in a few days, in a few weeks. Prepositions of place now. For example, in this case, behind, as you can see here, behind, in front of, next to. The image, it talks by itself, right? Behind, atrás, enfrente de, al lado. Between. Between means en medio de. Okay? When it's only two aspects here, like two boxes in this case. The ball is in between the two boxes. Near. Near. Cerca. ¿Ah? Above. Arriba. Below. Abajo. In. Dentro. Enclosed space, as we can see, enclosed space. On. Sobre. There are some other prepositions of places, like in this case, we are studying at, in, on, and you can check here, like for example, when you are being very specific, like here at the hairdresser, like in this case, you better use at. If you are speaking about general information, like in a room, right? You use in. And if you are not very specific, but not too general, you use on the second floor, for example, here. Okay, you can have here, for example, at the exit, in the final stage, on the menu, for example. Okay, it also has to, the preference of using these prepositions has to do a lot with the information that you are using or presenting. If it's specific, use at. If it's general, use in. If it's not general, not very specific, use on. Here is, let's practice. Let's check with the prepositions of place here. Okay, we have to use from this box of prepositions, we have to prefer to use some very adequate preposition here for the first sentence. There is some pizza in the box. Tell me, think for a moment. Yeah, there is some pizza in the box. Yes, let's continue with the other sentence. There is a guitar. The second part of the sentence, it says the lamp and the plant. What preposition should you use? Yes, next to. There is a guitar next to the lamp and the plant. Let's continue with the last one, and then you're going to keep practicing. There are two dogs on the table. What is the most adequate preposition? Yes, under the table. Okay, let's continue practicing, and tell me if you have any doubts. Bye.